Hebrews 4:2-11. For unto us the gospel was preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said, as I've sworn in my wrath, if they will enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spoke in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest on the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter my rest. Seeing therefore it remains that some would enter in, and they to whom it was first preached entered not because of unbelief, he limits it again to a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today if you'll hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Jesus had given them rest, then he would not afterwards have spoken of another day. There remains therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that has entered into his rest has also ceased from his own works as God did from his. Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. Here we see he's talking about the seventh day, but he's putting it in the context of Joshua, who he calls Jesus, leading the people into the rest. In Hebrews 3, we talked about the 12 spies that went in to behold the good land. They all beheld the riches of the land that had been promised to Abraham's children as an inheritance, but it had been occupied by enemies. They had to dispossess the land of its enemies before they could take it. And they found that yes, the land was full of riches and was good, but there were giants in the land, descendants of the Nephilim, and we were as grasshoppers in their sight, is what they said. That is all true. They were not exaggerating. But Joshua and Caleb said, we shall by all means take the land because God is with us. The others said, no, we can't take it. God brought us out here to die. They murmured against God, and everyone sided with them. Then God disciplined them, and that whole generation was not able to enter the land. God swore in his wrath, they will not enter my rest. And they saw my works 40 years. They wandered for 40 years until that generation died out in the wilderness. Joshua and Caleb, as old men, led the next generation into the good land. Now, the good land is a type of the rest of God that God is speaking of for us today. For New Testament believers, the real rest and the real good land is the all-inclusive Christ with his unsearchable riches to become our satisfaction and enjoyment. He is to be enjoyed in this age and in the age to come. That is really what the good land depicts. Hebrews 3:14 talks about how we're to become partakers of Christ if we continue in our confidence. To partake of Christ is to enter into an enjoyment of what has been given to you. We've been given all the riches of Christ. He is ours for our enjoyment and satisfaction. And we lay hold of this by faith. If we're unbelief, we do not enjoy the riches, but if we are in faith, we do. It's not like this is a promise held out in front of us that needs some kind of qualification before you can enjoy it in terms of works. It's really that your faith right now puts you in a position where you are either in rest or you're in your struggle. It is not a process per se, for we who have believed do enter that rest. Believing is the entrance. When I believe that Christ is mine, even though there's problems with me, his blood has cleansed me. And he's qualified me for a share of the allotted portion of the saints in the light, as Colossians says. I'm now in the light, in the kingdom of the beloved Son. I'm no longer under the authority of darkness. We've already crossed over into the land and passed through the Jordan. This is all true. However, if we do not really believe it, we will not enjoy it.